This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the LD Micro Invitational 2015 in Bel Air, California. And I have with me none other than Chris Lahiji, LD Micro's leader and armed ambassador.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, guys.
How are you?
You know, good. I mean, with a lot of people tend to forget that I start these events relatively late. So the smart thing to do would be to start planning, 7, 8, 9, 10 months before an event. I started on April Fool's Day. And April Fool's Day is not a good start date because when you tell people that you have a conference and it's in 60 days, they're like, Chris, I'm not going to fall for that April Fool's joke. So in this case, it happened so often that we had to start on April 2nd. We did 191 companies here. We did over 1,000 people. We did 2,200 private meetings. And the reason the Invitational got larger is because, as you all know, the main event will get smaller.
Well, I can tell you that this event had great flow,
Yes.
great weather, and great people. I saw. You have us positioned. We're in LD Micro Central, right here. We see who's coming, who's going, and it, reflectively speaking, the quality of people is exceptional.
Well, we had, like I said, when it comes to private investors, we had the greatest contingency we ever had. And these were guys, not just U.S., but a lot of great Canadian investors as well this year. We had some great Canadian companies. And that, to me, was what was really special. I mean, we still had a nice contingency from the institutions, but as you know, we tend to, deal with companies smaller than 150 million. I'm very proud of the turnout. I think, what can I say? I mean, this was just one of these things where there was a number that we had in mind, and we matched it. I thought that the main event last year, there was too many people, and we're never going to get to those numbers. So I want it to be crowded but comfortable. I want you to be able to find a seat. I want you to be able to have a private meeting without 10 people overhearing your conversation. And I think for the 2 1/3 days, I think it was well received, where you had some intimacy, but you also had a lot of activity.
Company-wise, did you find any new rock stars?
It was the best list we've ever assembled. There's no question. And by best, I mean in terms of profitability, in terms of cash flow positive, in terms of valuation. We had some great names. In terms of specific companies, right now, because I'm kind of brain dead, I can't really go on any. But all I could say is that the reason why we were able to attract the audience we did was because of the quality of the names.
When's your next event?
December 1, 2, 3. I'm kind of nervous because I'm now 0 for 2 when it comes to rain. It's going to be the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. There'll be approximately 190 to 200 companies, and I don't think there's going to be much overlap. So there may be some. You may have anywhere between 15 and 25%, but there's going to be a new set. There's already several billion-dollar companies that want to come, and it's interesting because they also realize the value of what we've been able to build, and I want to try to do this for as long as people find value in it.
The funny thing is that I think that you bring up a good point. Why would a billion-dollar company want to come to a MicroCap conference?
Well, because a lot of the MicroCap guys are also going, up market. So, companies like Bank of the Internet, when they come here, that's a company that originally was featured here at 60 million. It's now almost $1 billion. And they're always packed because people ultimately want to see it. Because people know that there's going to be no liquidity concerns. They know that it's a solid management, and the valuation is there. So I think it all depends. And what I'm happy to say is that several of these billion-dollar companies are companies that came in here at much earlier, smaller valuations. And that's what everyone tries to find. Everyone's trying to find that 10, 20, 30 bagger. And I've never said this publicly before, but I actually believe that in this 191, there'll be one of those.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first from the guru, Chris Lahiji. Any last things you want to say?
You know, I,
You're never at a loss for words.
obviously I want to appreciate you guys. I want to appreciate our 75 sponsors. I want to appreciate all those guys who were stuck 6 hours on a tarmac at JFK. I want to appreciate all the companies that came in. You know, none of this would be possible without their support. I mean, these things, as you know, are very expensive ordeals. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of intensity. There's a lot of staff. I want to appreciate our staff. You know, these guys, they were great for 2-3 days. This was one of the very few events where we started after a bat mitzvah. And what happened is that the drummer left his drum set and no one could find him, you know? And it was just one of these things where we started very, very late. We finished at 3:50 a.m. on Monday, and we woke up 45 minutes later to set up for 8 a.m. that day. So everyone that comes in together becomes a team. It becomes unified. And everyone, I appreciate you for all your help and support, and I hope to see you again real soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Lahiji, LD Micro. We are at the LD Micro Invitational 2015 in Bel Air, California. I'm Shelly Crabb. This is SNN Live. Chris?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it, buddy. Good shot.